Here's a story from Wired. Men are betting on WNBA players' menstrual cycles. Some sports gamblers are trying to predict WNBA players' performance and the outcomes of games based on the athletes' periods. One betting content creator has dubbed it blood money. And it's an old story from October, but I was watching a video where someone broke it down today, and I was like, holy crap, that's right.
I wonder if they're more aggressive when they're having their cycle.
Well, they're feeling down, I guess. You know what I mean? So this is actually really interesting because, Alex Stein always makes the joke that we should allow trans people in women's sports because then you can bet on them and you'll always win.
In the military.
And the military, yeah. They say, the whoosh of a dildo flying past your face, tribalistic chants, men making bets on your bodily functions. Wow. This isn't a cult. This is a day in the life of the modern WNBA player. You know what? I'm just going to say it. Nobody wants a WNBA. Nobody does. Right. Does anybody here want it? Do you want it?
No.
No, of course not. No. Why does it exist?
Someone made the point that like a WNBA player getting pregnant is like a torn ACL. You're just you're out for the season.
You're out for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but NBA players don't intentionally tear their ACLs.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that they were going for contract raises too with the new collective bargaining agreements.
They want to get $20 an hour.
Yeah.
Look at this. They say one prominent figure making and predicting these wagers, who goes by Fade Me Bets online, has garnered thousands of likes and shares on Instagram for his menstrual cycle betting strategy. He claims he's been correct on 11 out of 16 of his period-related predictions, with about 68.75% accuracy. What's kind of good but also kind of bad is it brings more people to watch the WNBA. But on the downside of that, it's usually just all gamblers, says Fade Me Bets, who declined to be named.
How does he know their menstrual cycles, though?
Yeah, I don't know.
Follow him on Instagram.
By a pheromone.
Here's a quote.
Just follow him long enough.
He says, not everyone is the same. Yes, they are a traditional 28-day cycle, but everyone's is different, and it varies from person to person, month to month, says Amy West. Fade Me Bets admits that predicting WNBA player performance based on menstrual cycle assumptions is more art than science. His typical menstrual cycle prediction videos all start with vaguely menacing phrase, "We got a victim. We've got a victim, boys."
That's good.
Wow.
By this, he says the victim is the betting line. The odds set out the sports book that determines a person's payout, not the player herself. He then shares predictions about whether a specific player is menstruating, ovulating, or in their late luteal phase, which occurs after ovulation and before the period comes. For instance, he said this of Clark. She is on the end of her late luteal phase, meaning a decrease in cardio, decrease in strength, decrease in aerobic system. She's going to be tired more often than in a normal game. Fade Me Bets told viewers to bet the under on Clark that game, projecting that she'd score lower than the number predicted by odds makers on sports betting apps. And in this case, Clark did.
The teams need to hire the guy like from Moneyball to do this for the other team, to start putting like sabermetrics, start putting rating systems to their periods.
Yeah, they're going to time up the cycles because you don't want 5 players that all have like the same time.
No.
So you need to when you're building your roster, you have to make sure everyone's spaced out across the
If
month.
they spend enough time together, they'll all sync up.
That's true.
I mean, you could do this for the men in the NBA about when their wives have their periods, because they might not be playing well either because their wife is being rude to them at that time.
Yeah.
Frustrated. Or maybe, like I said, maybe it makes them more aggressive. They're angry. They're having a bad day.
They got to get it out of their system.
Yeah.
I think that's why a lot of them pick up multiple baby mamas so they can cycle around.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
You know,
Is that what?
here's the reality that I think everyone needs to understand with stories like this. Guys, I work in media. I produce a lot of content. I've produced a bunch of different kinds of content, from travel documentaries, news, travel stories, and news podcasts more recently in the past several years. Viewership and interest in politics is gone. And it's gone because of people like Candace Owens and this other guy who, Wolf in Finances, whatever his name is, who are lying too much. But it's also just that politics isn't something that can be developed. It happens around you. And so what's happening now with stories like this is that if you look at what Gen Z is interested in, it ain't politics. Millennials were very interested in this over the past 10 or so years because of Gamergate. But this might actually be a very good thing. If politics stops being pop culture, maybe people will start focusing on WNBA players' menstrual cycles instead. They'll stop believing crackpot stories, and they'll stop voting for stupid things. And then voter turnout will decrease, but it will remain solid among those like us who deeply care about these issues.
I think the power of a well-told story or whatever it's too powerful. I think that, like when we were talking about JFK earlier, how powerful was the discussion around the JFK assassination? The only difference is now it happens at light speed because of the internet, whereas before it took longer for that to reach critical mass within society.
Well, yeah.
I think, we clip out this segment. It'll perform better than 90% of the political stuff that we do. When we talk about space weather, it outperforms everything. It's a guarantee. Well, I mean, we got a big space weather story. People are really fascinated to know about these solar storms and the auroras that are flying over everywhere. And we've got 20-year high radiation. Is that what it is? I mean, we'll talk about it. It's pretty crazy. And then you see these planes falling out of the sky. This stuff is all infinitely more interesting than tariff policy.
It also has more effect on the average person, right? Like, the average person doesn't have a whole lot besides the entertainment value, the drama value of the Charlie Kirk story. It doesn't affect their lives. Whereas if there's solar flares that are going to affect the grid, that would affect everybody.
Yeah, well, it's like people. Well, I was just say because people on the right are discussing this is that look, the major issue with democracy as a whole is that the more people participating, the worse the policy gets, and it's kind of the same thing with political commentaries. The more participation, the more eyeballs. In a lot of ways, the more watered down the discourse gets because, you're trying to capture the biggest audience possible, which incentivizes you to like Mr. Beastify your content. Yep. No offense to Mr. Beast, but not great for political, polemics. So
this is funny. Look at this. WNBA fans react in disgust to news that men are betting on players' menstrual cycles.
How do they know it's men? There could be women betting. No,
but why?
Cycles?
But hold on, like why? Look, women. This is the thing about women. The male view of this system is like, is there a mathematical formula that predicts behavior and outcomes? And the women are like, you're mean and gross.
I mean, I think that there might be some of that. I think a lot of this is meme betting.
Meme betting?
I don't know if they're actually paying close attention to the cycles or if they just think it's funny to put money down on a woman because of her menstrual cycle.
I would argue while
Both.
The story gets attention because it's funny and weird, I mean, it's true. Like, obviously, a woman's menstrual cycle is going to impact her ability to play physical sports.
Yeah, sports bettors are like actually the high level ones. Obviously, are like super pragmatic. Like they're reading traffic, how much traffic there is for the away team on the way to the game because it's going to frustrate the players more, and then that impacts the money line. Like there's so many factors that they.
The temperature for which the players have played in before, because it might affect if it's hotter or colder out.
These guys used to be like our botanists and our great scientists, and now they're like tracking WNBA players' menstrual cycles.
Brett, to your point, the betting is different on NFL games depending on the weather. Mm-hmm. If it's an outdoor, stadium or whatever.
What a player's record is in cold weather versus warm weather.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep.
So
indeed.
Yeah.
There you go. I mean, any edge is money, you get paid,
For your segments, because you do stuff that's both culture and politics, which ones perform better generally?
Culture. If I make a video about so I did a video the other day where it's an old video, but it got attention recently because this woman is suing. She's a far left activist, and some guy went to a convention. It was the Asian Pacific Economic Convention or whatever. And he was dressed down. They told him he needed a jacket. So he calls his wife, and she comes and brings him a jacket. He walks outside, and there's protesters everywhere. He gets his jacket on, and they won't let him back in. So when he tries walking in, they grab him. They're throwing him, and he's pissed. So he goes to a Secret Service agent, and he says, how am I supposed to get in? And they can't give him an answer. Then this woman walks up next to him and starts screaming people over profit over and over again like a zombie, just at the top of her lungs. When he goes to walk away, she follows him screaming, and he turns around and just right hooks her. Boom! And she goes down, hits her head on a fence, and she broke her jaw, got a concussion, knocked teeth out. This dude just boom, and she was gone. And she had to get her mouth wired shut. A couple 100,000 views on that. Yeah. I do a video about something very esoteric and political. It's just not going to perform well at all. Yeah. Perform well, 100 and something thousand on YouTube, and then, 30 or something on Rumble, and then maybe 30 on Facebook and stuff like that. But you make a video, I'll put it this way. I could take a random video of a random guy punching another random guy and get more views than talking about politics.
Yeah. I mean, that's even true in our space. We did, like, I had videos do better talking about Black Friday scams than anything to do with Marvel or DC, anything like that. It used to be true that videos about Trump's incursion in Hollywood got people lots of views because he's always trying to, whether it's talking about Seth Meyers or any of these guys, him talking about wanting to make specific movies with Paramount Studios. That stuff used to do very well. Now it doesn't do as well as it used to because people are just, they're over it.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.